Hello everyone, this is GoFan77 here, and we're going to look at some tips of how to defeat Titans. A few people on the forums have been having problems taking them out even on this tutorial map I made a while ago. It's a custom map, that's why the first one we'll be practicing on is a Ragnarok on a pirate base, which does not usually appear, but that'll be a good opportunity to kill a Titan in a cage while it still has a decent amount of defenders. The usual pirate ships and turrets and all that. Alright, so to make things easier, I'm just going to use the developer.exe to spawn in my attack force so I can just instantly produce it ship by ship and explain what they do. So first things first, most Titans' greatest strength is area of effect damage. Things like the Radika's Casting Burst or Scatter Shot on the Ragnarok we'll be fighting, so anything that's individually a strong unit with a lot of health is a good thing to bring to a Titan fight. And obviously your own Titan definitely fits this bill. And I'm playing TC Loyalist just because this is what a lot of players play for their first faction.
Reporting
so
in.
I'm going to spawn in
Ready to
Ankalon.
provide cover for the fleet.
Now, in my opinion, I have to say this is probably the weakest Titan. If for no other reason than its specialty is defense, and Titans level up by blowing stuff up, so therefore an Ankalon is probably going to be lower level than most other Titans simply due to his lack of offensive capability, but it's definitely better to have a Titan than no Titan, so we'll still go with it. Let's see, just to make this interesting, I'll give both Titans a couple levels here. Okay, you go ahead and do that. Level 1 Titans are much weaker than even Titans a couple level higher, so what holds true for level 1 Titans does not necessarily work on higher level ones once they start getting
Ready to move out.
more of their abilities unlocked than at higher levels. So let's see. The next main thing you're going to want to build your attack force with is capital ships. Again, they're tough single units, and many of them have special abilities that will come in handy when dealing in Titans. TC have a nice one in particular with the Dunov battle cruiser. Oh, which one is this?
Systems calibrated.
Yep, there it is. In diplomacy, this ship really wasn't that good, but Rebellion, even without buffing any of its stats, have made it relevant again. First is you have a powerful shield restore ability on a single target, so it's great for keeping your own important capital ships in Titan alive. And I would put everything at 4 because that's the highest level you could purchase with credits. Most importantly is this EMP charge ability. Every faction has one capital ship that can remove antimatter from a Titan, and for the TEC it's the Dunov with this. Alright, level 2 can remove 91 antimatter per shot. The Ragnarok especially has only offensive active abilities. Without antimatter, it cannot use any of its area of effect abilities, so it's just a bunch of admittedly very damaging cannons, but it's not going to be able to hit your entire fleet. In fact, it's pretty forward-facing, and its railgun can only hit one target, so without antimatter, it's really not much of a threat. At least to a large fleet. So, okay, I'm gonna put my points in shield restore and EMP charge.
Our orders, Commander.
Oh, let's see. Now this one will be a lot harder to get out, but if you can, having your own good source of area of effect damage is quite useful in order to keep the enemy fleet from... Oh, I have to Let me respawn my scout
If it's
here.
out there, I'll find it.
Renew my probe and... Sorry guy, you're in luck. Anyway. Yes, your own source of unlimited area of effect damage is also quite useful, just so I can quickly thin out these all these other frigates that's going to be getting in the way of the Titan, and that against any CPU or AI player will probably have a decent sized fleet escorting it. Now the Ankalon has
Ready to move
a
out.
bit of this with this disruption matrix ability, but let's see, that's 8 times 50 level 2, that's 400 damage. But I mean, compared to what most of the other, everything but the Coronata can do much better than that, and it just doesn't have the instant fleet killing power that the other Titan abilities do. On the other hand, it does disable abilities, and in fact, the Ankalon is the only Titan in the game, or the only unit in the game that can disable Titan abilities. Well, I guess you have
Reporting
the
in.
Armistice on the okay, but that stops everything, so...
Our orders, Commander.
Anyways. So that's good, but it's not ideal. And as TUC loyalists in particular, I would want to back this up with the Marza.
Bringing out
The
the big
infamous
gun.
Marza, at level 6, gets this missile barrage ability, which is the only... basically turns Marza into a mini Titan, in that it can quickly... I can say quickly, but... Well, let's see. Over, we'll say 25 seconds can deal... Let's see, 120 times 25... You know, several thousand damage worse to every ship in the area of its effect. If you don't have an ability like
How can I
Ion
be of
Bolt
service?
to interrupt it, or you get your ships out of the way, you're going to lose your fleet, or just have a heavily damaged, you know, heavy cruisers and carriers left. And quite a few MP games end when someone gets a level 6 Mars, but no one has a Titan or convenient way to counter it. So I'll cheat a little bit and give myself a level 6 Mars. I know that's probably gonna make this a bit too easy, but if you can get it, it's definitely gonna make
Need something destroyed.
focusing on the Titan much easier. And then I think Radiation bomb might not be cat, but it's pretty slow damage, but I'll put some points into it anyway. Normally I would put stuff into Ray's planet over incendiary shells, but we're just going to be in some space battle here. And let's see. Do I want another capital ship? Really, the
Reporting
Iken
in.
isn't doing a whole lot, but the range boost is kind of nice to have, especially if you have a large group of long-range frigates anyways, which I'll get to frigates in a second. Let's see. If you're willing to use it, the Corsiv can also do a lot of area of effect damage, but I won't be using it for this demonstration. The Coal, well, you should never build a Coal unless you're facing a ton of strike craft. There's maybe 10 to a dozen squads, but that's not quite enough to justify. Sova carriers are nice brawlers, but even at fleets this size, it's going to start to lose some of its utility really fast, because it has no area of effect either busts or attacks at all. And yeah, so I would say this would be more than enough as far
Intel
as
reports an
capital
impending
ship
pirate
goes.
raid.
Oh, you're gonna interrupt me.
The price on our head has increased.
Well, I'll wait for that pirate raid to go through before launching this, but farm it for some XPs. But frigates. Now, for any of the non-Visari Titans, and the Ragnarov in particular, one of the main ships you should look at building are corvettes. None of the Ragnarov's abilities can target corvettes, and neither can the Erratica's Castic Burst or
Ready to move
Unity Mass or anything like that. So corvettes are a very nice unit to build. It's only its normal weapons are going to be able to hit it, and you know, 50 of them or so, it's just not going to be able to keep up, and they'll definitely whittle it down. So I'm going to spawn in
Pirate raiders are on the loose.
force of corvettes. I generally try and build as many fleet supplies to counter as the unit I'm trying to defeat, so I'm going to spawn in 50 corvettes. I would say that should take out a low to mid-level Ragnarov Titan in a one-on-one any day. So, let's see. Frigate. And corvette. Should be here somewhere. Am I blind? That's no. Oh, because Corvette is in the front of the name.
The bigger they are, the harder I hit them. The bigger they are, the harder I hit them. The bigger
Oh, good
they
timing.
are, the harder I hit them. The bigger
Let's
they
get to
are,
Corvettes.
the harder I hit them.
Make it fast.
And there goes the Disruption Vortex. And they're off for my trade ships. Nice tip if you are under attack by pirates. A good chunk of them like to go chase your trade ships wherever in the world they may be, all over the planet Gravity Well, ignoring your ships trying to destroy them, so that can make dealing with pirate raids much easier. There's some more coming, but
Our orders, Commander.
alright, the next thing that you want to build for frigates and that work against any Titan, including the Visari ones, are carriers, simply because none of their abilities can target strike craft. If you let them close enough to hit the carriers, the Titans will can destroy them quite quickly. But as long as you keep your carriers on the other side of the gravity well, you're pretty much free to let your bombers whittle them down. So let's see.
Air Wing at your disposal. Air Wing at your disposal.
Yeah, the 140.
Air Wing at your disposal.
It does.
Commanders on deck.
Load. Mostly bombers. That'll help hunt down the stragglers here. I'm just letting my auto attack go on. That's probably not the best thing to do, but alright.
Comm channel open.
Now, since your capital ships and your own Titan can be, you know, so
Where do
useful
you-
to have anywhere really, but especially against Titans, you might want to have your own repair capacity, their own support. So TEC have the best general purpose repair cruiser in the game with the robotics cruiser. So are you?
Behold my
Yep.
creations.
Definitely have one for each of your capital ships, and probably some more. It's
my creations.
really the main support cruiser you can count on to, you know, repair your entire fleet if needed. With you have
Ready
enough,
to
because they
move
can
out.
cast it on several ships at once. And then The other support cruiser they have really isn't for repair, but the Serial Command Cruiser, though, it's high up in the tech tree and it's purely optional. If you can get Tier 6 for this Designate Target ability,
Trust in my command.
it applies a 40% damage reduction buff, which, you know, is basically increased damage. And is a great way for helping take out any single big target, capital ships, star bases, titans, much, much faster. So, I usually will have 2 late game as TSC just to
Ready to lead.
have them
I've
doing
been
that.
thinking.
There's this Embolden ability it comes with, but it's pretty average, even though it lasts a while. But that's... if you bother to get Serial Command Cruisers, you should be planning on going right to Designate Target. And then I'm just going to spawn in some random frigates to help. Oh yeah, this is a pirate base, so there's going to be minefields. Keep that in mind. You're going to want a scout or two to help out with that.
My robots stand ready.
Probably don't want them not to attack. And then, let's see.
How can I be of service?
Get some
I
flag.
heard you have a fighter problem.
Since it's a custom map, there's some extra hangar defense, and I gave them some corvettes on this. Pirates don't usually have that, but against the AI, of course, they will be able to build corvettes and carriers anyways. And some long
All
range.
ordnance accounted for. All ordnance accounted for.
15.
I heard you have a fighter problem.
Couple humble kobolds and a few
Ready
heavies.
for the front lines.
So I've got about 820 fleet supply. That's the first 4 upgrades against this pirate base. 19 heavy cruisers, and I'm not so good with remembering what role types the other ones are, and the Ragnarok Titan. So let's see how this works.
Who needs air support?
Now, what I think I'm gonna do, since I know one of those, either, I don't remember which ones are the anti-fighter frigates, but I don't really want my corvettes to attack anything but the Titans, so I'm not going to jump them in with the rest of my fleet until I've thinned out the defending forces, so they can attack the Ragnarok free from anti-fighter frigates, and actually the mines will just decimate corvettes, so definitely don't want them to come in right away. And actually, I'm
Reporting
going
in.
to have my carriers
An
jump in
excellent
on the other
plan.
side of the gravity well, just so that they can kite easier over here and they can come out this way if things go bad. Always have your carriers around an exit, because they're expensive. They can take a bit of damage, but if you lose one, it definitely hurts a lot more than almost any other frigate. So, and then
Ready to move out.
I'm obviously gonna let my Titan jump in first because it's gonna take the most punishment.
No enemy will get by us.
And against the
Diverting
AI
power
that
to
are clustered
jump
already
engines.
like this, they're generally gonna attack the first thing that jumps in.
Where do you need me?
Then
Ahead
everything that's
slow.
not
I need some
corvettes
excitement.
can
Who needs
go.
air support? Coming about.
Phase jump complete.
Shields up, we're going in. I'll never fail.
Take my abilities off autocast.
Shields up, we're going in.
You wanna, at least on your capital ship and Titans,
Who needs
you
air
wanna be in
support?
full control of most of those.
To protect and serve. Calculating jump coordinates.
Make
Why are
it
you guys
fast.
not jumping? Well, Mars doesn't
Ready
have
to
a lot of
move
targets when it comes in. Oh, there's a Ragnarok starting a snipe.
Go ahead,
Get my
TACOM.
bombers
Bring the noise.
attacking it.
Our orders, Commander.
Our Titan shields have failed.
Alright, that's a
protect
good
them,
sign
sir.
to start the furious defense.
Need something destroyed?
And it's auto-using missile barrage, but that's actually pretty well timed.
Our orders, Commander.
It's being repaired. I might have to.
Where do you need me?
Alright, these. Yeah, I'm not gonna worry about the Titan too much until I thin these forces out.
Looking for something?
I better start clearing.
away.
Oh, now it's using its
Need
Very
repairs?
so I should
I'm on it.
probably
Time is
spread
short.
out my frigates some more.
My robots stand ready. Comm channel open.
Alright, most of these frigates are
Ready to
Calm
swap
down.
supplies.
flak are generally the
Talking
best
cheap.
thing to
I got point. I got point.
clear minefields
Repel
with
the invaders.
scouts. Now,
How can I
haven't
help you,
done a-
Commander? Understood. All systems go.
Source sheet.
Target designated. Where's the target? This ought to shake things up. Where's the
Ragnarok
target? This ought to
does
shake
have to.
things up.
face its target at all time, or for all of its abilities. You can't do
What
that
do
with
you
the
want?
Radica, for example, but the Ragnarok has to be facing directly anything it uses its abilities on, so
Trust in my command.
try and have your... There's my Silu.
Make it fast. Our orders, Commander.
Alright, I'm gonna get this
True
closer.
to the cause. Let's
Alright,
go.
now my Corvettes are going in.
Comm link online.
Hopefully they don't run into minefields. Alright. The TC Rebel
Our
debuff.
Titan has taken heavy damage.
Oh, it's fine.
What do you want?
Our orders, Commander.
I disable its abilities here. Alright. See how its antimatter is pretty much
Ready
drained?
and waiting.
My
Target
Dunham.
designated.
Yep. My Dunham is going to be able to keep its antimatter drained until it's been destroyed. So this situation, you basically have it
Our
down.
Titan shields have failed.
It'll be depleting the antimatter before it can be repaired. And it's gone. The Titan has been destroyed. As has most of the pirate forces.
Some excitement.
Now,
How about
to
some
deal with the
attack orders?
mines and turrets and all that, it's better to take auto attack off because you don't want to fight all the guns at once. And in fact, my bombers will probably do it.
I've got your back.
How can I be of service?
Without me risking any ships, but I'll just do it carefully.
Ready to move out.
God, I put phase jumps inhibitors there too. You're definitely should be paying attention to those. I would have a hard time retreating here if I had to.
Our orders, Commander.
Let's see, did all my scouts?
Point me in the right
one
direction.
scout survive. So, what mines do I need?
Looking for something?
What's the plan? Intel reports an impending pirate raid.
How can I help you, Commander?
They're as good as dead.
And I think my long-range
Where's the
frigates
target?
should be able to
This
do that.
ought to
But,
shake
you can
things
see I
up.
had about -3 fleet supply before this, so I lost 36 fleet supply worth of frigates, so that's 9 long-range frigates. It's not too bad. If I do this carefully, I won't lose
Pirate
anything
raiders
else,
are on
so.
the loose.
On my way.
Oh, they're gonna have some more pirates warp in. That's gonna be fun.
Looking for something?
Oh well.
Need something destroyed? It's about
The
time.
Mars, though, have fun with them.
I need some excitement.
How can I be of service?
Let me get rid of these hangars so I can just leave my carriers to do this. Oh, you're getting out of here.
My robots stand ready. Yes,
Since my frigate's
of
back.
course.
But oh dear, where do my scout go?
Where to now?
Mine clearing duty is one of the newer
Come,
things
Link,
we're
come,
building,
Link.
Where to now?
Ready to swat some flies.
but then it's actually a decent defensive position. Probably too heavy on well, okay, way too heavy on hangars and guns. Your defense should mostly rely on repair platforms at
Affirmative.
Starbase, but of course pirates don't have Starbases, so
Confirmed.
too bad, I suppose.
Looking for something?
No enemy will get by us. Need something destroyed?
Our planet is under siege.
I guess I may as well talk about tips for taking out some specific titans. The Advent Loyalist Coronata is the only titan that has no
Ready
area of
to swat
effect
some flies.
ability whatsoever. It can steal your frigates with its normal weapons, but it's limited by
Point me in the right
how many
direction.
targets it can shoot at one time. It's not an unlimited thing like most of the abilities are. So with a large enough fleet of
Capital ship shields are down.
you might not want to use heavy cruisers in that case, because then each one it converts are a bigger loss. But
I'll never fail.
you know, long-range frigates would work pretty well. Corvettes will still do the job. You know, things like that can overwhelm it simply because it doesn't have those area of effect abilities. Ankelon, I mean, you just have to watch out for Disruption Matrix, but it's pretty strict, and it can heal itself. Potentially high amounts late game, especially in friendly gravity wells. It has twice the self-repair.
What do you need to
That can be
know?
annoying, but it doesn't have too much that can hurt you.
Sir.
Let's see. The Radicus, besides the Ragnarok, is probably the one that gives the most grief in single player.
What's the plan?
Actually, maybe more than the
I've got them
Ragnarok.
all lined up.
Has an unlimited
Our
AoE.
orders, Commander.
That's very good, even though it got nerfed a bit lately.
Come, Link, online.
But that one is multi-directional, so you can't flank it like I did with the Ragnarok back there. It can hit any target it wants. I mean, it's still good to spread your ships out, but you can't assume that what it's not looking at it can't hit. And at level 6, it has an interesting ability that when you kill it, it'll stay alive for a couple of minutes. You've already won, you've killed it, but it's gonna turn all blue with the aura thing, and it's gonna get some big buffs to antimatter and ability use, and basically for, I don't remember, it's 2 or 4 minutes, it's going to just try and take out as many of your ships as possible. So if you kill a level 6 Zeratica Titan, you should just assume, or you should just plan on you have to run as fast as possible, because you've already killed the Titan, it's just going to wreak havoc on your fleet if you stick around. So just get the heck out of there. If you're attacking a planet, you can
Ready
deal
to
with it
move
later.
out.
That's something that tricks up new players quite a bit. They don't know how to deal with that, but just
I'll
run as
never
soon as you
fail.
kill it. It's
Targets in
nothing they
sight.
can do can save it. It's dead once it turns all blue, and that it's just have to run. Let's see. The Visari Titans are interesting because they can defeat corvettes pretty easily. I'm not sure if this is intentional or if it'll be something that'll be fixed later because they forgot about it, but see, the Vrostra Titan has part of its desperation ability. It deals splash damage, like a small AoE, but it applies on every time its normal weapons hit something.
Need repair.
And this still affects corvettes, so that will kill them pretty quickly.
Comlink online.
Also at level 6, and this is actually the most dangerous in multiplayer because it's the hardest ability to dodge. It has the Maw, which is basically a tractor beam that sucks in everything in front of it, and if it gets too close, it's instantly destroyed. I don't think that's very effective in corvettes, but if one happens to fly by and gets caught in it, it might get killed. But
Confirmed.
yes, it's pretty deadly when combined with its ability to phase jump in the gravity well. So, like if it was over here, it could just phase jump and instantly eat my carriers before I could do much about it. And then the Kultura Visari Rebel Titan. All of its abilities only affect frigates, so if you can, you know, just bring in your own Titan and capital ships, and it's not going to be able to do much to stop you. But it has Nano Leech, which heals it for every enemy frigate it affects. So if you actually bring too many frigates to attack it, you might make it stronger. Corvettes don't count for that, but its ultimate level 6 ability, Dissever, is another area of attack, a lot like Missile Barrage, except it's instantly. And apparently that does affect corvettes and will one-hit KO all of them, so against low-level Kulturas corvettes will work pretty well.
Ready to
But
swat
the instant hits
supplies.
level 6, it will one-hit KO them, so not worth using after that. You pretty much just have to use either your own Titan and capital ships would be ideal, but obviously if it's guarded by a high-level fleet of the Visari Rebel player's own, that might be difficult to pull off, and if that fails, just mass carriers with lots of bombers is really your best
Ready
answer.
to move out. No enemy will get by us.
Alright, I think that's it. Hope this was somewhat useful. Learning how to deal Titans. Again, I might have brought in a bit of a superior force here. I'm not sure how much fleet supply that pirate
Planet is
force
under
was
siege.
based
My
off of,
robots
but
stand ready.
I guess I should have put you guys on auto attack. Those pirates love those trade ships. Anyway, and I'll see you guys later.